But now we're joined by our good old friend, Derrick Jackson. What's up, Lovey? Got the Lovey
Hey,
Smith look going, man.
I guess so, man. I tell you, man, like I was telling you guys, I've been doing a lot of traveling around the country, letting the beard grow out. I've been really focusing on, like I was telling you before, man, doing some fishing. I've been to Texas, been out in Arizona. So just going to different places, man, checking out a few spots. And I tell you, man, it's really relaxing, really enjoyable. I've been
Sounds it.
following everything from a distance, but it's really nice and enjoyable. I had a great time.
I guess so, man. Where were you fishing? What were you fishing for?
Man, I was just doing some bass fishing, man, in some of the remote parts of Texas, man. Went out there and visited my old friend Dion,
Little
Country
top
Pride.
line, little top lure there on the top, baby. Spinner
Yeah,
bait.
little top,
Bam!
yep, little top baby, little top lures. Went out there and visited my man Country Prime and did a little bass fishing out there. So it was really enjoyable to kind of get around and move around the country a little bit. I haven't really moved around the country. We haven't really moved around since last year, but I had a great time though, man. Had a great time.
It sounds like it, man. It sounds like it. What was going on out in Arizona? Did you go see Val Kilmer or?
No, man, I was just out there in some spots, man, with a good friend of mine that lives out there, and just taking me to a few little remote spots. Nothing really big, but
I wish I'd have known you were going there. I'd have told you got to go to Tombstone, man.
I heard about that. Didn't really have a chance to make that move, but I did hear about that. And next time I get an opportunity, I will. I'm not going anywhere. The football season is finna totally take over right about now, and I'm not going anywhere, man. It's finna be all IU football for me. I can tell you that right now.
I know Mitchell Page will be up here. I think possibly Thursday.
Okay.
Out at practice, he said to me. So hopefully we'll see that. I was out there yesterday, like I said. They're not going to show us much,
right?
And you know Dustin, right?
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he does.
I just want to make sure.
How's it going, man? We talked about this earlier on the show, DJ. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, but I want your perspective on this because throughout spring, throughout now what's into fall camp, Indiana, Tom Allen, not really showing much, not really talking much about the specifics or anything. But in my opinion, that I don't know if it means much, especially past that first game. I mean, is there? Am I wrong in that? Is there some benefit to being so secretive at this point in the year?
I really don't think so. I really, like I was saying earlier, man, I really think it's going to come down to the team having that desire to win, the intestinal fortitude of the team. We can implement all types of different schemes that we want. We can bring in all types of different coaches with resumes. The resumes could be long as whatever, man. But listen, man, if you don't have that camaraderie, if you don't have that desire, you can hide anything you want to hide. But I tell you what, one thing you won't be able to hide, when that flag goes up from that first whistle, that first game, you won't be able to hide anything from there. It won't happen.
Yeah, the biggest thing right now, which has been the case every year almost for maybe the last 4 years, has there been a quarterback race every year?
Seems to me it's been that way.
I mean, I know that there wasn't really one, but Indiana has pretended or has at least alluded to there was one every year, to my knowledge. You go back to last year, they did it. They did the same thing, didn't they? They didn't name a starter. I don't think they were saying, "Well, we'll see if it's Jock or if it's," and the same thing. Maybe the year before that it was Michael Penix for sure, but I'm trying to think if they have not done that at least 3 years in a row. Which
last year they definitely did it. Michael Penix was it 2 years ago for sure, just like you said. Last year it was kind of so up in the air, and I think this year it's going to be quarterback by committee. It's going to be whatever guy moves sticks the best, whatever guy minimizes interceptions, and whatever guy that gets out there and can really move, like I said, move the sticks and get us in the end zone. That's who it's going to be. And if this week he doesn't do it, then they'll jump someone else. That's what I think. That's just me. I mean,
Well, I agree with you, but I think that's going to end up being Connor Bazelak.
Right.
And that's not, and it's just because I don't know, but I'll tell you that I don't know. I'm guessing because this is the kid that came in from the SEC. He didn't come in to not play. Jack Tuttle's had a couple of seasons and opportunities to be that guy and hadn't been able to be that guy. He doesn't have a lot of mobility. And with what I've seen from the Indiana line last year, especially, he damn well better have some mobility.
Yeah. I was getting there, man. Listen, man, I mean, our line has been a question mark for the past couple of years, if you ask me. So the deal is, if the quarterback is not mobile, we're going to see some problems. And I hope those, unless we can devise something to keep that ball moving forward, I mean, we're not going to be able to throw the ball very well if we don't have a great line. And I mean, the only other thing we can do is run the ball to keep us from getting, getting us in 3rd and 8 situations,
I think one of the positives about having Walt Bell as the offensive coordinator is that when you look at his resume at Maryland, they did not have a great offensive line when he was there. And yet he was able to devise some schemes in which he got the ball into the playmakers, get the ball into space. So he has experience. And you want a guy that knows how to build an offensive line, right? There's no question about that. But he does have experience devising some schemes, running some plays where if you don't have the best offensive line, you can still put some points on the board. And that to me is going to be interesting, especially against some of these teams, these mid-level teams. I don't think it's any question. I don't have much confidence Indiana is going to be able to compete with teams like Ohio State or Michigan this year. But when Illinois, I think they can compete with Cincinnati, Purdue. I think they can compete with a lot of teams at their level in the Big Ten. You've got to be able to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers, because I don't have much faith in the offensive line at all, to be
and that is why they moved to wide receiver Donovan McCulley.
Yep.
And he, if what Tom Allen said that it was his, he wanted to try that, and they need it. They need playmakers on the field. They need playmakers at wide receiver because they don't really have that. And I think that this is going to give them other options. And he said that they may have a few packages for him in the Wildcat kind of a deal. So he just has to get more comfortable. Last year he got thrown to the wolves, man.
Yep, he sure did.
I mean the wolves, because not only are you you're starting you're over your head already, knowledge-wise, experience-wise. It's nothing about him. It's not negative about Donovan. It's just, he was a freshman. He got thrown into it, man, and unprepared. At least if you have a week of practice playing up to it, that would be an unbelievable challenge. But to just get thrown into it like that, very, very, I mean, not a week, but more than that. But anyway, I think that this position can help him grow. But you see this all the time, DJ. Guys go to college as they could be all state or whatever at a position, get moved constantly. And it always amazed me how coaches know that actually, you know what, you'd be better in this position, especially when it's a quarterback. But who plays quarterback? Usually the best athletes on the team, a lot of times. So that's why you could see them get moved around so much. Oh, we lost your volume. We lost your audio. You got muted.
Here, drop out and come back in.
I got to go out and come back in. All right.
No. You're good. You're good.
You're good now. You're good now.
Okay. Here's what I think. I'm sitting outside here. Okay, never mind. Listen, I think what we're going to have, the reason why he's not showing very much is because you are going to have Donovan McCulley utilized a lot of different ways. I think that was a great strategic move to move him to the receiver position. But I think it's more from, you to get the ball in the space, because we don't have the offensive line. I think he may do some jet sweeps. He may throw a lot of different things.
Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And I think one thing I wanted to ask was Tom Allen putting his hand back in the defense, having more control on that. That's kind of his expertise. Do you think that's a good move for the Hoosiers, or do you think it's better to have the head coach have more of a hands-off, allow his offensive and defensive coordinators to have their specific roles?
Well, I think what's happening now is that Coach Allen is now taking the responsibilities on his shoulders, because you can no longer, you've changed, okay, you had coordinators, now you've changed coordinators. So now what happens is, what are you going to do? Blame it on the coordinator again? No, I'm going to take this role as the head coach. I'm going to make these decisions. I'm going to take ownership of what happens to this football team this year.
Yep, I could not agree with you more, man. What else is new with you? What's going on with you?
Man, football, Big Ten football, and Big Ten football. There you have it, Jim. That's what I'm going to be doing from here until the Big Ten, till we get to the Rose Bowl.
When are you coming up to Indiana?
I'll be out there next month. I was going to call you anyway, man, because this time we're going to sit down, man. We're going to get us a bite to eat, and we're going to really dig. We're going to really dig our heels in the Indiana football, and we're going to hang out and have a great time, man.
Looking forward to it, man.
Okay, brother. Look forward to it too. Dustin, man. Hey, man, if you're in the area, man, I'd be glad to see you too. And John, you know the same thing, man.
Sounds good, man. We'll make it happen.
DJ Jackson with us here on Indiana Sports Beat, man. Looking forward to seeing your face again.
Okay, brother. Take care, guys.
Thank you. DJ Jackson joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat on this Wednesday.